Now let's talk about some other impressive ancient inventions that have come from China, starting with Gan and Shi's Celestial Book. This book is the earliest still existing astronomical masterpiece of China and from the world at large. It was written by Gan De and Shi Shen in the Warring States period. The book recorded how Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Mars, and Saturn moved, and the rules concerning when and how they appeared and disappeared. The book also recorded the direction of 121 fixed stars, measured by ancient astronomers, and the names of 800 fixed stars altogether.
Okay, next we will talk about Zhang Hen and the seismograph. In the exhibition hall of the Museum of Chinese History in Beijing, there is a restored model of the first seismograph of the world. The inventor of it is Zhang Hen, a famous ancient scientist in the Eastern Han Dynasty. In 132, Zhang Hen made a seismograph called Houfeng, used for measuring the direction of a certain earthquake in the capital city of Luoyang.
It was made of fine copper and looked like a big cup with a lid. The surface of the instrument was cast with 8 dragons, whose bodies were downward vertically and their heads pointed to 8 directions, and each dragon had a copper ball in its mouth. On the ground vertically below the mouths of dragons, there were 8 copper toads, raising their heads and opening their mouths. The inner side of the seismograph was elaborately constructed.
When an earthquake occurred in a place at a certain direction, to which the dragon pointed, would open its mouth. The ball would fall into the toad's mouth automatically, indicating the earthquake occurring at that direction.
何处发生了地震，该方向的铜桌就会掉下，警告地震的方位。
Zhang Hen is highly esteemed, and a crater on the moon was named after him.
Now let's introduce Zhu Tongzi and Pi. A crater on the back of the moon was also named after Zhu Tongzi from China. He was a famous mathematician, astronomer, and mechanic in the northern and southern dynasties. His achievement was in the calculation of the value of pi. Based on earlier research, he resorted to the cutting circle method and concluded that the value of pi falls between 3.1415926 and 3.1415927 after more than 1,000 times of calculating.
Okay, now next we'll talk about the abacus and abacus calculation. The abacus was invented on the basis of a counting log that the Chinese have used for a long period of time. In ancient times, people used small logs to count numbers. Later, with the development of productivity, the number requiring calculation became bigger and bigger, and the limitation of calculation with logs was more and more apparent. Thereby, some people invented a kind of more advanced counter, the abacus.
The abacus is rectangular with a wooden frame on the 4 sides of it and small rods fixed within, each one representing 1 digit. The rods are strung with wooden beads, and a girder across the middle separates the abacus into 2 parts. The first part is the upper part, in which each rod has 2 heads, each representing the number 5, and the lower part, which in each rod has 5 beads, each representing the number 1.
Since the abacus is inexpensive and simple to make, it is easy to remember abacus rules, and the abacus calculation is so simple and convenient that the abacus is widely used in China. Afterwards, the abacus was gradually introduced to Japan and Korea, as well as nearby countries,